So we're at the stage now where we're going to spray tint the lenses. If you've been following the videos, what I've done so far is I've stripped the lens down, showed you how to open that, stripped it all apart. We've polished the lenses so they've been sanded and polished. Also give them a rub of alcohol just to take any of the polish that remains off, so they've got a good clean surface for the tinted yellow. So I'm using a spray tint and it's a light smoke. Normally takes about 4 coats or so to give a decent coverage on it. If you've not sprayed anything before, it's not something I'm an expert at, but I've done a lot of them. It's literally, you know, the lighter you coat you do, and the more coats you do, the better finish you do. So don't spray it on too close, and don't try and apply too much at once. So what I'm going to do is literally go from side to side, and as I go from side to side is to press the nozzle down when it's pointing away from the light, so there's no splatter on it. And once I get to the other side, I'm just going to release the nozzle, and that's the way I've been doing them, so I'll just show. And the same for the other. And then that is it for the next 15 minutes. Let them dry, and then I'll come back and repeat another 4 times. Tint has been applied. I've got about 4 coats of tint on there with 2 coats of clear lacquer as well. And so today what I'm going to show you is fitting the LED strip and also putting these back together. So these are the inserts that were stripped out, and they have been painted black, as you can see. And just make sure you mask up correctly around these areas for when you paint. So what we'll be doing is putting these back together, and then also having a look to do some LED strips in them. So what we'll do is we'll grab all the reflectors that are ready to go back on and show you how quick and easily these can go in. So it's a case of just clipping them back as you did the opposite to when we took them out. Again, the problem one is always this one, where it's a little bit fiddly to get in. So fingers crossed this will go back in today fine. Good. And then you've got both the clear lens and the red lens to go on. Just make sure they're all clipped in correctly, because the last thing you want to do is to find out one of these hasn't been clipped in when you put the whole thing back together, and then it pops out. So as you can see, pretty quickly we've got our lens back together. So what I'm going to now is install the LED strips. So LED strips, so here's one LED strip. All they are is it's a strip LEDs encased in a silicone protective cover with sticky back plastic on the rear, so you can stick it onto basically anything. Now you've probably noticed this little thing behind me here, and let me explain for those who don't know what this is. So when I first started doing these, literally I'd always like to test them to make sure the LED strips worked before installation and after installation. And the way that I used to do that was the old-fashioned 9-volt battery. So you can just stick the connectors against it, and as you can see, LED strip lights up red and also will light up and flash orange. Now that's fine, but I was tired having to grab batteries all the time, and try and do it that way. So I invested in one of these power supply units. It's a variable power supply unit, so go anything from 0 volts up to, I think, I don't know, I think it goes well past 24 volts on it. But the good thing is that we can vary it. So you can see set to about 12 volts on the display, and we can turn it down by big lots. And then what you can also do is fine tune it down as well. So let's set that around about 12 volts. And then it's just crocodile clips on the end to the negative and the positive. And there's the LED strip on. And we'll just check the indicator. So you can see it's much easier. It's a lot brighter than what it would be using a battery. And personally, with doing these quite a bit, it was definitely an investment from me, and to get one of these. I paid about £35 from eBay for it. It's not under heavy use at all, but it's certainly a little bit of kit if you do fiddle around with electronics and you don't want to mess around with batteries or hook up any kind of dodgy supplies. So this is the LED strip that I'll be fitting, and this is the casing that I'll be fitting it against. So really the LED strip is going to be running from the top all the way down, and then it'll be curving down towards the bottom like so. That's the plan. So a couple of tips on this is you've got a cover on the end of the LED strip, and it's kind of like a waterproof cover, but the only problem is it is a little bit bulky and space is limited inside the lens, and as the lens is waterproofed anyway, it's not needed, so straight away I'll take that off. Another top tip on these is that when they're curled, you can see the adhesive strip, and get it in the shot, is fine and that, but once you uncurl it back out, you'll notice all the lumps and bumps start coming into it. Now bear in mind, you're now going to curl it the total opposite way while you'll be putting in the lens. So what happens is the tape comes off the backing of the strip, and then it looks unsightly in the rear lens. I did one a few weeks ago where I just literally put it in the lens and it looked fine, and then after a day you would get hoops of the adhesive, which was clearly visible from inside the lens, and it didn't look great. So straight away the whole lens had to be took apart, all of the adhesive removed, and put back together again to make it look, you know, as good as it can be. So what I'll do is I will just remove the double-sided tape on the LED strip itself. So let me remove that, and I will come back to you once this is done. Okay, so I've got the LED now with the backing on it all trimmed off, and just a exactly replacement of what was on there, but something that's not going to buckle. And we've got the internal casing now, and the LED strip is going to run from here all the way down there, all the way down there, and it's going to end coming up through here and into the insert of the light. So the way that would get it to end down here is we need to make a cut down at the bottom corner to allow the LED strip to fit into this nice groove in here. So one of the other great tools, which I imagine most people will have, is just a little multi-tool. It's great for doing odd jobs and perfect for this situation, and if you've got a car, to be honest with you, it's great for a lot of different things. It's helped me out of a pickle many times. So I'm just going to cut some slots into this. You see the slots in there, and of course if anyone's using tools, wear protective goggles, masks, etc. to protect yourself. And what we'll do is we'll just do a loose fit of the LED strip to see whether or not it is going to fit in there correctly. And see just a little bit of plastic in the corner. We'll get that out. There we go. I'm just going to put a towel down to protect the light. And all we need to do is make sure this LED strip is able to just bend round and come into that gap, as you can see there. So that's a loose fit. So what I'm going to do is remove double-sided tape. This is probably going to be the hardest thing I do today because it never seems to come off when you want. Okay, so see, we're going to offer it up to around there on the light. Allow it to just find its own way around there. I tend to try and push it down on the center point, bring it around, and then a nice bend into the light itself, like so. So as you can see, it's very straightforward to fit. If you do get a gap, I don't know if you can see, there's a slight gap in the center there. What you could do is you could refasten it at the top, or you could pull it down at the bottom to get it in. But to be honest with you, that's going to stick for me. I'm happy with that. And what I'll do is I'll show you with the fit of the lens on it. And what you can see by this is literally what I really like about the design, how I've done these, is that once the lens is back on, it's not very noticeable from the outside of the car. You can see from that side, you see the LED strip, and you can see from the top. But once it's on the car, you cannot really tell that it's there. So it's nice that it fits in that space. So what I'm going to do now is just tidy this up and I will show you the next part. I'd say these tools are very useful, so all we need to do is change the end of them. And on the back of the plastic, there's a point where the cables can come out. And just here is perfect, where we can feed the cables through. So what I'm going to do is just drill hole just into the plastic at this point. One done. And again, repeat for the next one. Then what you'll see is that this cable just nicely feeds through into the back, like so. Then once you pop the whole light together, just allow that cable to come through. Whole lens sits in there, and you've got your cables coming through. So once you put these back together, what you've got to remember is there's some clips at the top that push in. There's some clips at the bottom that you push in. And then when you finally put the lens back on, like so, you see the whole light come together with your strip in, ready to go. So at this point, I would normally just double check to make sure that the lens is working as expected. So again, I'll bring in the meter to check that. So we should have brake light coming on, or tail light depending on how you wire them up, and indicator. So you can see strips are working perfectly. So that's literally, the lens is now done. It needs sealing, which I'll be sealing with a silicone to make sure it sticks. I'll do that on both lenses, tape them shut to make sure the silicone holds, and then I'll start wiring them together. So lenses all been sealed up and bulbs have been just installed back in as they were. So for sealing the lens, all it is a line of silicone around the hole outside on the lens, and then literally all I do is put the lens on and then use some electrician's tape around the whole thing to keep it secure and tight. I'll post a picture and pop it at the top corner, and you can see exactly there how these are done. And what I'm going to do now is just do a final test of the light to make sure they work. I've also done a spliced into these cables, and as you see, this is a cable that runs through for your LED strip. So there's 3 parts to this. You need black one's your earth, so that just fits onto any earth wire that goes into a bulb. You've got a yellow one which fits onto the indicator bulb, which is your green and yellow. So let's connect that one up. And then your final one is, I've got this connected to the brake light, so it's the green and white wire that goes into the brake light. If you want it on your tail light, you've just wired into the green wire. So if I pop that one in there, then all I'm going to do is wire this up to and just test these lights. So I'm going to wire it up and we'll get these tested. So I'm just going to go through each of the bulbs, make sure all the bulbs are working, as well as the strips when they need to be activated. So you can see there, we've got the brake light working with the LED strip. Let's see if I'll move it in a bit better. So you can see that that one's working. We should have the indicator with the LED. Obviously, if it was in the car, the LED would be flashing along, which is totally optional. If you want to remove this bulb, you can do. You can just leave the bulb out of the holder. What you will need to do is to install a variable relay to replace your signal relay in the car, because your car will think that there's a bulb out and all your lights will flash quickly. They're about £5 off eBay, very straightforward plug and play for that. And then we've got side light, and then finally reverse light. So totally happy that this is now working. LED strips working, all the bulbs are working, and there we are, guys. Final product. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. Again, you know, this is probably about the 11th 12th set of lights that I've done, and I just wanted to basically put the videos together to show you how to do them yourself. It's not difficult, it's fairly straightforward, as you can see, if you know what you're doing. So I hope you give it a try. I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, different variations on these. You know, use your imagination, see what else you can think of and what you could do, and, you know, post your comments and we'll take a look at them. So thanks a lot for watching, and until the next video, goodbye.